Welcome to my channel.
Here.
Image! I am not, why?
Yeah, I see him eat all the
He
time.
eats like
What am I talking about?
All the time!
Dondero.
I'm a hot mess. Okay. It just started thunderstorming here. So of course, as soon as I'm going live, it's like booming. Oh, y'all. I would say like some welcome or whatever, but you know what? If you're here, if you know, like, uh-oh, it's past midnight. Narix is going live, just chatting. That means she's in her head. Today has been a motherfucking day. And it wasn't even that it was really bad. Do you ever have those like weeks or days and they're not bad? It's adding ambiance. Yeah, pep. It's not, my day hasn't been bad. It was busy, stressful. And I know I mentioned this earlier. Was it Thursday? Was it yesterday? It wasn't yesterday. It's Tuesday. I don't know what. The days are running together at this point. It was Tuesday because it was before therapy. I feel like the stress is just, it's a different type of stress, I think, than the stress I was experiencing with the new stress with my new job is because if I get behind or if I don't do my job at 100% or if I mess up, then it's just art. Okay, people don't like it, things are behind. People get a little, but it's very in small batches. If I get behind or I mess up in this new job, there are hundreds of people who have a bad time. And that just I forgot how stressful that is. Which of course is then bringing out all of the like old coping mechanisms, and I could have pushed through tonight. I could have pushed through and gotten some work done tonight, but I couldn't. I did the best I could, but after so many hours of just really going at 100%, you can't. You just can't. And I think that's the hard part. It's not hard. It is hard. It's just telling myself that I can't. I'm not superhuman. And what I don't know if y'all can hear that. Oh, I have angered the gods, apparently. I think that the part of my trauma that made me superhuman, we call our trauma superpowers. What made me superhuman, that part of me that had to push through, that had to be at 100% all the time, that was going to get the job done no matter what, and I was going to do it without complaining, and I was going to do it, and I was going to push through, and I was going to just literally push myself past my limits mentally, emotionally, and physically to get the job done, because that's what needed to be done, and that's what made me whatever. Exactly. I heard that thunder. Yeah. I can't do it. And I think that's what I'm coming to the realization is that even my cat I am so stressed that I'm stressing my cat out. See, I didn't have my cat when I was in this job the last time, so she's freaked the fuck out. And no, it's not the thunder. She didn't give a shit about thunder. Yeah. I can only do so much in a day, and I'm human. I'm tired mentally. I'm pretty sure that I disassociated hard this evening. I think I checked out sometime after 7. And I think I am just now crawling out of it. It's not 100%, but it was enough for me to be functional. And yeah, that was a question. I don't like I can't run it 100% all the time. And you know, I think the healing what is astounding about healing is that you get to going into a healthy direction and healthy thought process and healthy behaviors, whatnot. But when you return back to the old thought patterns and the old behaviors, yay, Paragon! I am staying safe. I am actually, my demons are bad, but they're not dark. My demons are just loud and pushy. But it's exhausting. I forgot how exhausting doing this all the time was. And what I mean by doing this is running at 100% and feeling like I had to be perfect and never messing up and always being down on myself. And it's just how much energy I was putting forth to being perfect. And I was putting forth to making sure the job got done and putting forth all of that, and just exhausting. I am dead. I am just beat. Like, I am not, and not even physically, because I went to bed at a decent hour last night. I almost overslept today. Like, I am not, like, physically I'm getting enough sleep, but it's just like the mental, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if you know the difference. Like, I'm sure anybody who's watching this right now does. Like, the difference between what mental exhaustion is like and then physical exhaustion is like. And I will take, you know what? I will take physically tired every single time over this. I forgot. I seriously did. I had been in a pretty, even though I had been in emotional turmoil, I hadn't been mentally exhausted like this. But now I'm emotionally fine. Mentally, I am fucking drained. And I used to live like this all the goddamn time. What the fuck? I used to live like this all the fucking time. I don't know how I did it. Because what? Your demons aren't dark. I'll trade you. Okay, 1-on-1. I'll trade you one. I'll take on one of your dark demons. You can take on one of my my neurotic ones. I don't know. I don't know if that's an even trade, Paragon. I can handle the dark demons. Y'all have seen me handle them on stream. My neurotic ones are something totally different. I think because I've been in distress this whole year, and I've been dealing with other things, bigger things. That's very true. Y'all, this nugget ice maker I have is like the shit. I'll let you visit one when. Just remember, Paragon. Sometimes we have to make friends with our demons. I guess that's a layman's way of saying what what I was talking about in therapy this week with my therapist. She's like, she told me, you're just going to have to learn how to exist in the discomfort. That there's nothing that you can do to fix it. And she's like, and I know that's going to stress you out, and I know that's going to bother you, but sometimes you just have to sit in it. Don't stay there, but you just have to exist in it. And I was like, so basically, I have to learn how to cuddle with my demons. Fucking great. Great. Awesome. Yay. I don't fight my demons, I cuddle. But that's hard. It's hard to sit with that. I just like Jay said, I didn't know any better, but now I know better. Cuddle puddles with the demons, right? Right? Hey, some of my demons and I are besties for life. For life. I'm not sad. I'm not upset. I'm not in distress. And I think that is what is sort of freaking me out a little bit. Because I don't know what I am. I'm stressed. I'm mentally tired. I spent some time in 76 today, and like I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. The puddles are blood though. Hey, listen. All I'm saying that there was a countess that bathed herself in blood and kept herself young. I'm not above it. I'm not sad. I'm not upset. I'm not any of those things. I'm just mentally exhausted. And again, like I said, I hadn't been. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That cat. I haven't been this mentally exhausted in a while. And it's also because with my current job, I have to do a lot more. It's a lot less creative thinking and a lot more analytical thinking. So it's using that part of my brain. And you know how it's like creative thinking takes time, but it's more of an ebb and flow, when analytical thinking is very, I'll put it in these terms. Creative thinking, right brain type thinking is cardio. It's cardio. You're tired, you get a little exhausted, you get winded, but like, okay, you're fine. Like, but like analytical thinking is like weight training. Like and you just feel the muscle fatigue. And I think that's how my brain feels. It's like, I mean, I love spreadsheets. I don't know if I love spreadsheets that much. Oh, God. All day on spreadsheets. Ugh. Weight training. Oh, I remember those days. Yeah. Like, I was so tired today. Like, I had time. I was just so tired today. I didn't work out. I'm not physically tired, but I was so mentally tired. You know, it's like you get to that mentally tired and you're like, I could be doing this, but I can barely function right now. So I'm not. Mental powerlifting. It is mental powerlifting. I think that's why some days I am very grateful for having my my design job, just because it provides that balance for me, that outlet. It sucks to be smart sometimes. The neurodivergent, gifted, burnout gifted kid. Hi. Yeah. Hi. Yeah, my brain and body are like, I really did. I was very excited. I'm very excited because I'm starting to work out again, and I know I'm a sick individual. I enjoy working out. Um Now it's not something that I want to spend 2 hours of my life doing every day of my life. It is not that. I enjoy how I feel afterwards. I do enjoy working out. I do enjoy being active and athletic things. And so I've been really excited because I've started actually like rowing, like really doing rowing workouts, which is fun. It's hard. Like if you do it correctly, it's hard. But I was excited. I had started a plan. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do today was like weightlifting or lower body and hit for I was like, I can't do it. There is no way. There is no way. I can't even get out of my chair right now without feeling like I've like already done like a million push-ups. So, but here's how I know that I've grown mentally and emotionally is instead of sitting there forcing myself to going, no, I need to do this. No, I need to do this. I know I'm tired, but I have to do this. And feeling guilty about not doing it, I'm just like, I am mentally exhausted. So I'm not going to do it. Also manual and I do enjoy running. Now, is running one of my like go-to things to do? No, because I actually like I have a really bad left knee, so I have to be really careful about where I run and how fast, but I enjoy running. I do. But I don't enjoy running on treadmills. I don't. I enjoy outdoor running. So but I'm not fast. I am definitely a long distance. Like I like to do distance. I do not like to sprint. I don't do like yay for not giving in on the product. Yeah, I am trying very hard on that. The trying not to get down on myself. You didn't work out. Oh my God, you're gonna gain 80 pounds. Like which is that's a compound trauma right there. It's me like here I am. I've got my like my body dysmorphia and my you know my whole like trying to keep my eating disorder demon at bay and also trying to keep that productivity trauma and trying to think oh you didn't work out, you were going to do that, and well you just sat there like you're being so late, like that whole all of that. You talk about the neurotic demons in my head, that and then there's a part of me that's going, I'm tired, and you know what, it's okay to be tired. And I think that coming to that conclusion is just a little much for me. Yes. Coming to the conclusion that it's okay to not do. It's okay to just change your mind, and it's okay to rest. That I don't have to be productive all the time. And not even that. I think it's there's a point where you say I don't have to be productive all the time, but then I don't have to be productive all the time, and then accepting that without judgment of myself, because I don't do that really well. That is something I literally got I got my therapist. You know how therapists dress you down, like they fuss at you without really fussing at you sometimes. That's but what both mine did to this week. Um it's not sitting in non-judgment of myself. These match speed. Yeah. And you're right, Glitch. And yeah, I'm not. And I know that I'm talking about it, and I know it's like, well, if you're not judging yourself, why are you talking about it? Well, I'm not judging myself. I don't feel bad about it. What, ma'am? Can I help you? Attitude. I don't feel bad about it. I'm not over here wrestling with the demons in my head. Judgments don't have to be negative. Yes and no. That's yes, you're right. Judgments don't have to be negative. However, I am very judgmental of myself. I am hyper, and it's not so much judgmental as critical. And I am so critical of myself because of my trauma and because of the things that I work through and because of the things that I'm working on, that I'm so critical of myself that we did a self-love, like a mindfulness exercise in therapy for self-love and self-compassion, and I couldn't do it. I could absolutely, because you start the exercise like, thinking of others and extending all of this emotion and things, and imagining that towards others, and I could do that. But I literally am so critical and judgmental of myself that when it came to the part of learning of like turning all of that love and acceptance inward, I couldn't do it. It literally, like, at the end, like, my therapist went, like, you're in physical pain, aren't you? Because, like, my heart literally hurt. My chest was closed up. Like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's where we are. All right, cool. I couldn't do it. And it's not that I don't love myself. I don't know. I think the part that got me, it's not that I don't love myself, because I do love myself and I do accept myself, and I'm learning how to accept myself, because I accept myself now more than I did even a year ago or 3 months ago. But I think it was the word unconditionally. I love others unconditionally, like unconditionally. Like, there are some people in my life that, like, it will take an act of Congress and, like, my death for me to stop loving them. But because I'm so hypercritical and judgmental of myself, are you speaking to? Yes. Yes, I am. That to turn inward, I couldn't do it, because I couldn't do it unconditionally. Because even turning towards myself, here I am, and I'm like, yeah, but you could do better. You could be better. Yes, ma'am. You missed. You totally missed. You ever try personification of your parts? Oh, yes. That's called Internal Family Systems, IFS. And actually, yes, I do glitch. It's the only way I can actually try and make sense of the things that go into my head. All of them have their own little personalities, and all of them have their own little things. And I don't think I've named them. I think I've named a couple. But they all, I absolutely personify things in my head. Absolutely. And we do it. I do practice that in therapy. IFS is actually really, really great. I don't. Well, Funny you should say that, Glitch. Funny you should say that. I was also thinking about that because I was thinking today, I was so fucking stressed. I was so stressed out. I was like, I want to turn my brain off. I would give anything I would give anything for a scene right now. I would give anything for somebody to dom me and just so I could turn my brain off. Not even on the sexual component of it. I mean, which that would be nice too. I mean, those chemicals in your brain are amazing, but just to like turn my brain off. Just turn it off. Let somebody else do like literally do anything they want to me. I don't care at this point. And how like and just how honestly, if you look at it, how kink can positively affect your mental health. And just how like I am grateful for that. Oh. I am grateful that my kinks like I have that I have embraced that part of me, that I am open about that part of myself, that I have that I can help others do that. I think that that's also a thing, but I getting past the religious trauma. That's nice. That whole religious trauma of all sex is bad and kinky sex is worse. Um and how kink is such a pot can be and is really when done in a healthy way, when done in a consensual healthy way, can be such a mentally and emotionally healing thing for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Like today, I could have absolutely have used gone I would have gone full sub, like full sub, no switching, no bratting, like I would have gone full on because I just don't want to think right now. But at the same time, like, when I'm hurting, like I need to feel a little bit of that impact play. I don't know. Are my Twitch friends still here? I mean, Glitch, I love you. I was like, are my Twitch friends still? They're awful quiet over there. I don't even dom sexually anymore. It's been so long. I'm basically dad dom instead of dad dom. Do you dad dom? What's the difference between dad dom and daddy dom, Glitch? I need to know. I have to know what that is. Okay. All right, well, that's good. I know it's late for y'all. I know it's a late night stream, but I want to know what the difference between dad dom and a daddy dom is. Does one of them wear a fanny pack? I need to know. Dad dom helps you change your tires and wears a fanny pack. I am okay. I appreciate it. I'm just talking. I'm talking because I don't want to be in my head right now. That's in poker face. I don't want to be in my head right now. And I'm trying to use a healthy outlet to not be in my head instead of a destructive. I am trying to use a constructive outlet instead of a destructive outlet. Like, I don't know, like all the other things. So Like saying or doing what people would want their dad to do, like saying good job. Well, okay. Hey, sport. I don't think I've ever been called sport. I wonder if anybody's ever been nicknamed sport. That'd be fun. What, ma'am? What? What? I'll be in your head. Okay. What's like 20 more people in my head? It's fine. Slap on the button, told good game after. Oh my god, that has happened to me before now. And slapped on the button. Good game. Good job. I have had that happen to me before, and I'm here for it. You've been called champ before. Yeah. Like, no, well, slapped on the button. Don't. Good job, champ. I mean, when you do a good job, I feel like when you do a good enough job that they're slapping you on the ass, calling you good job, champ, I feel like that's an accomplishment. That's all I'm saying. I'll take a slap on the butt though. But do you guys ever have that time where you just don't want to be in your head anymore? Like you just don't want to be in your head. And I don't know. I think for me, because I'm a verbal processor and because I'm like for me, I have to talk. I have to talk. Like and writing is okay. Writing is like if I don't have a way to talk, then writing is the next best thing, but writing is still enough in my head that I can't really get out. But for some reason, it's that whole like verbal, I'm not in my head. I'm thinking it's almost like opening an air vent. I got a lot of hot air up there and it just needs to be vented. I don't, and now's one of those times. I could be gaming right now. I absolutely could be gaming right now, but I was gaming earlier and I don't I am learning to embrace the demons and we cuddle and I'm learning to embrace all the people that live in my head and all the different parts of me that live in my head. I get they're not different people. They're just different parts of me that live in my head. And sometimes even my inner me gets overstimulated by all the shit that they talk in my head. And sometimes I just have to be like, I'm out. I can't, which oftentimes results in disassociation. And then other times I'm just like, okay, I need to not, I need to not be in my head. So I'm going to talk. I go chaos and find a way to make space in strangers' heads. Because writing does not work for me. Yeah, I'm oral in so many ways. It's that nice little oral fetish. I wonder if that's where it comes from. My oral fetish. And and it is an oral fetish, not an oral kink. Like it is like things like I wonder if that's a part of it. Oh, I don't I don't know. It's too late to unpack that one right now. It is too late to unpack whether my need to verbal process and my oral fetish are linked. I don't know if I want to. But now I have something to think about other than being stressed. Oh, I I wow. Okay, cool. Wait a minute. I was talking about talking, madam. Well, you know me. I'm the person that's gonna turn it about the sixth time. Actually, I was texting a friend, and they made a comment, and I went, "Oh." I typed back, "I am going to refrain from these 6 different things that I could have turned that dirty." They're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Are you ashamed? Is this something to be ashamed of?" No, but I can't be that friend, the one that is completely inappropriate all the time. I am nasty. It is almost 1 o'clock my time. Of course I'm turning it nasty. It's after dark. What are you talking about? I'll be nice and all clean at at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, not at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, what do you want from me? It's Friday and I am in my house. I don't, you know what, that's also that's something that it's like I'm in my house and I'm not going out and doing something and I am not like but I'm perfectly content with that. That's nice. That is nice. That is really nice. That the absence of wanting to escape and run. I'm feeling very secure in who I am, which is nice. That's nice. I'm secure in who I am. Plus, you got to pick which comment isn't too nasty. Fair. Fair, fair, fair. But I'm more confident in who I am and I'm more secure in who I am and stable in who I am. Um, which is nice. Like I don't feel the need to try to be somebody I'm not to please other people or make other people love me and like me. So I'm moving away. I because of my BPD, I'm always going to have that fear of abandonment. It's just always going to be there. I have to accept that that is a part of my life. That is a part of my life. And though I can do things to bypass and or recognize and acknowledge some of those parts of my that are always going to be there, um it's they are. I can go as secure as I can, um as my trauma will let me. But it is possible that I can, just I have to be very diligent about that and go to that secure place. But I'm working towards it and I can tell. I can tell, which is nice. Um, that I'm very secure in myself. It just, you know how it's like when you finally slow down and you finally get to a place where you're like, oh, I'm not so busy. Now it's like you finally see all the shit that you've neglected over the years that you need to fix or clean up. That would be where I'm at right now. I'm not doing all the structural damage has been sort of fixed. Now I've got to fix all all the other stuff. That's fun. I have enjoyed, and honestly, I was thinking about this. Um, that was a few days ago. Uh, yeah. I was thinking about I have really enjoyed being me. And I couldn't say that for a long time. Most of my life actually. I enjoy being me. And though I can regress at times because of my stress and because of my mental illness, will I regress and sometimes I'll slip and sometimes I'll yeah. But the absence of that, I don't know who I am. That's nice. Because I know who I am. I'm a fucking mess. but I'm a hot mess. And I'm friendly. I'm learning to embrace the mess. And that is really difficult for me. And I know it's like, oh, you're not going to put yourself down. We're not going to do that. We're not going to degrade ourselves. And I'm not degrading myself. I'm having to learn to embrace my mess and my chaos and my mayhem and my mental illness and the messiness and the sheer disorganization in my head. And I'm having to learn to accept that part of me, because for most of my life, I have worked incredibly hard to keep all of that contained and separate from everything else. I've worked incredibly hard to just keep that under control. And when that results in how I'm feeling right now, just mentally exhausted, because I have to be 100% all the time. And I don't have to be. But I'm really grateful for you guys. I really am. And I'm grateful that I have the people in my life now who are there for me, and who, if I call, they'll pick up the phone, and I don't ever wonder if I'm bothering them. And that's different too. I didn't surround myself with people before like that. I always felt like I was bothering them because, frankly, they treated me like I was bothering them. But I got people in my life who don't treat me that way. And I got people who treat me like it's okay to be a mess. I don't have to be perfect. And I can make my own choices, and I can do things at my own pace, and I can be me. And even when being me means being indecisive or being bossy or whatever, however I show up that day. And that's nice. And it's comforting. And they're consistent. I think that's the other thing that's different, is they're consistent. And when you, okay, for all my trauma friends who have been traumatized, just like the rest of us, late to the game to be, hi, Shooty Bricks. So we're all are traumatized people. So as we all know, for all of us that have trauma and have surrounded ourselves with very toxic and awful people, well, not awful people, also toxic and traumatized and or whatever people, the people that are inconsistent, the people that love bomb you, the people that breadcrumb you, the people, and especially if you are coming from a place where you're home, like me, where your childhood, your home life was inconsistent, where one day you are like, your caregiver is, you're loving you and great, and you're super, super happy. And then the next day they are yelling at you nonstop. It's like that inconsistency, and that inconsistency becomes normal, which is why you surround yourself with the people who are inconsistent, which is why you, for those of us, especially for me, who had an unstable, emotionally unstable household, the inconsistency was normal. So you accepted that. You were able to, you taught yourself how to gaslight yourself. but they're treating me so light, and they're so wonderful. They're so wonderful. They're just going through a bad time right now. I'll just have to be patient and it'll get better. And accepting the bad behavior and accepting how badly they treat you. You've been reading my journal again? No, boo-boo. We just all on the same boat. We all on the same cruise ship. It's fine. No, I've not been reading your journal, but I am definitely talking about my own personal experience. Is that the inconsistency of not knowing what parent's going to show up that day, what friend is going to show up that day. I've had a lot, like you surround yourself with people, like even your friends. You don't know what friends, the friends that are always drama, the friends that are always like self-centered. And like there are, like we talk a lot about narcissistic and toxic romantic partners, but we also have to remember that the more that, yes, our romantic partners are important to us, but our friends are just as important, and our friends actually take up a good chunk of our social structure. They aren't our only ones. So a lot of the times we forget the toxic friends. And we try to make those people who are unstable themselves, we try to make them our foundation for our support system, and it's not going to work. And then we wonder why there's inconsistency, and why there's not a consistent why they showed up for me last time. Why are they treating me like a burden this time? Well, why, like, they didn't want to show up for me this time, but they're telling me all I have to do is call them. Why didn't I call them when I needed help? Well, that's because, so that whole dysregulation, that whole imbalance and inconsistency of the friends I had, and just the inconsistency of people in my life. And through therapy and a lot of hard work and a lot of trust, because to take the step of learning how to trust people, and learning how to set boundaries, and learning how to find healthy people in your life is sometimes exuding some of that trust that you really, really don't want to. You don't want to trust people. You don't want to trust them. And anybody who's been traumatized and hurt and abused mentally, emotionally, or physically, or all of the above, who have been hurt over and over and over again, trust is not something that is easily given, and it is not something that you easily come by. And it is not something that just, you know what, I like you, I'm going to trust you. You don't. So to trust new people that you are learning to trust them to show up every single time. And they won't show up like every time, but to be consistent is scary, and it's vulnerable, and it's nerve-wracking. Once you've opened that door and it got kicked in, it is hard to open. And it is really hard to open again. And you can absolutely keep it closed. No one is saying, like, and I think that's the other thing, is so many people are like, you have to learn how to trust. You don't have to. I don't think that's true either. I think that there is a beauty in being guarded. I'm going to explain myself. Because if you see the people who are super guarded, that means they are protecting something incredibly special, which is themselves. And usually their inner child, or usually just they are because they've gotten their teeth kicked in over and over and over again. because they have opened themselves up, which means that they have a capacity to love and care. But because people have taken advantage of them, they guard themselves so fiercely. And I don't want to beat down the wall of anyone. I want somebody to choose to let down their guard with me. But at the same time, the only way that somebody's going to let down their guard with me is for me to show up consistently. And I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely, thank you, BPD, like absolutely not been a person who showed up consistently for the people in my life. But I'm working on that, and I am getting better at that because I'm aware of my emotional and mental state, so that when they're upset, I can, and I am not in a state to show up for them, I can say, I love you and I want to be here for you, but it is not that I don't want to be there for you, but I can't show up for you the way you need me to show up for you right now. That's not being unstable, that's being honest, and that's setting your boundary for yourself, and that's a beautiful thing. I just realized how very optimistic I just sounded, and so rosy and Pollyanna. How that sounded. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I realized that. I realized I sounded very positive and very perky and whatever. Because I do believe that. Okay, enough of you. Thank you. See the look she just gave me. I think also with my healing, in me wrestling with my own demons and my darkness and my struggles, I think with that, I think it helps me see the world a little differently and people differently. It's not easy, and some people still really, really suck. There are just some people who just fucking suck. And then there are people that you look at differently and you go, "Oh, maybe you weren't an asshole to be an asshole. Maybe you were an asshole because you were coming from a traumatized, hurt place." And because I know what that's like. Being a jerk, being an ass because I was triggered or because I was in a bad mental or emotional state. I know what that's like. Maybe you have to be a little bit more compassionate. Not a pushover. Just compassionate and empathetic. Well, as someone who's guarded beyond all his folks, to hear some. Yeah. Well, Shifty Bricks, I used to be like, well, why aren't you? I used to be very judgmental of guarded people. I was very like, why don't you open up to me? You know, it just shows you can't trust me or blah 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 blah. Why don't you? But in my growth and in my journey and in all of that, being more aware, being less judgmental of that, and instead of judging somebody, taking the time to look, to really take a second and take in a full picture. Yeah. if I really take a look at the people in my life who are super guarded, I realized that what happened was not that they don't want somebody to love them and they don't want that connection, because that's what I assume. And that's what a lot of people assume, that they just don't want anybody, and that's not it. It's that they have had their heart hurt so many times, because and they can't do it anymore. They don't want to, just because they'd given it to the wrong person or the wrong people over and over again, that they're they couldn't take it. And so they're going to protect this thing, and they're going to protect everything good about them, because what it happened was the good things about them were used as a weapon against them. And I know this because it's happened to me. Vulnerability was weaponized against me. And that's what happens to guarded people, is their vulnerability was weaponized and used to hurt them, so they turn the weapon outward, and they don't allow that to be used against them. And I find that thought very sad. I find that thought very sad, but I find that if they're guarding it so fiercely, that must mean that there is something really amazing on the other side of that wall. And instead of seeing the wall for that person who's guarding, instead of seeing it as a deterrent, seeing it as just the container of something good. And that's what I mean when I say I see the beauty in being guarded. Because instead of seeing it as something, as them keeping people out, I see the guarded person as them trying to protect something within. And you can't force that. And I think the more guarded somebody is, the more that they don't respond positively to somebody like being very, you need to open yourself up to me. It's that patience. You have to show up consistently, and you have to be patient. Just existing with them, just be patient, allowing them to exist in that guarded state, and just showing up as yourself every single time. And if they never choose to let their guard down with you, they never choose to let their guard down with you. And that's okay. That's okay. That doesn't say anything. And that's where I've changed a lot in that, is that it doesn't say anything about me. It doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't mean I am lacking in something because this person doesn't completely trust me 100%. It just means that I can't control, and I can't make choices, and I can't force somebody to do something that they don't want to do, or they don't want to feel. I can't do any of that. And that is a big step for me, because it all comes down to, I would internalize that. So, yeah. And I'm somebody who's incredibly guarded. I don't want people, and I'm not guarded I don't want people to see me hurt. Or if they do see me hurt, to not see me cry or bleed or fall apart or be a mess. I guarded being a mess. And I guarded all the bad emotions. And my vulnerability was absolutely used as a weapon against me all the time. And for those of you who have been here for all of my streams, and remember a year ago, when I came to like the realization, every time I am vulnerable with somebody and I let my guard down and I let somebody in, I absolutely had a panic attack every single time. And I was like, why is that? Why can't I be vulnerable? And then I came to the conclusion that it was just because my vulnerability was weaponized against me. And vulnerability is a scary fucking thing that I don't want to deal with. And learning to be vulnerable, hence me streaming, and hence my car talks, and hence all of these things, and hence me being in places like this and having just chattings like this. And hence the reason, the direction my streaming and my content went the way it did is because I realized that I'm still angering the gods, okay? The only way for me to learn how to be comfortable with being vulnerable is to, as my therapist and my life coach said this week, fucking practice. I had to practice. This is something that I need to practice, and I didn't want to practice it. And it's something that I have to do consistently. And it's like, and I don't know how many times they told me that this week. In both my sessions, they were like, well, I know you're not gonna like, because I was like, how do I do it? I don't understand it. You're gonna have to practice. You're just gonna have to practice it. You're just gonna have to practice. I want to do it right now, but I started feeling like I failed and tried to be I think there's a lot of us who tried to be something for someone else, especially we tried desperately to be something for the person we loved. And that crushed us. Well, I can't speak for you, but it crushed me. I love this person, and I'm going to do absolutely everything I could for them, because that's the type of person I am. And I don't know about you or any of these, but it's like you love this person with every ounce of your being, so you are absolutely willing to do what it takes to make them happy, and making those sacrifices and doing those things, and even the things that they don't necessarily ask for, you just, because of your trauma, you sort of pick up on, and you change, and you try, and you put those parts that they don't like somewhere down in some storage container somewhere deep in your soul, and then you get to a breaking point, and then you get to a point to where you don't recognize yourself and they don't recognize you, and you end up hurting, and you end up with a broken heart and a wounded soul, and feeling, I don't know about anybody else, but I felt lost. And I did feel like I had failed too. I felt like I had failed. I was a failure because I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't keep trying to be the person that they were and they wanted. It totally crushed me. If my internet goes out, well, sorry. Um, and we did become different, and I became different. But what happened was, you always grow within a relationship, whether it be friendship or romantic. You always grow and you always change, and you will change, and you accepting the change. But there's a difference between growing into a different person and forcing yourself into a different person. Two very, very different things. When you're growing together, when you're growing into two different people together, it's organic. It's they're growing and you deal with the pains, and you just sort of you're growing together and you evolve together. I mean, you're not like, the same person, but you grow and evolve and you accept each other. But um when you force yourself to be a different person, you chip away at that. And it's not like a 180 switch. And I know it wasn't, I don't know about you, but I know it wasn't for me. It's not like a 180 light switch of I'm going to be this person. It grows over time. You chip away at it, little pieces of yourself, little pieces. Then all of a sudden it's just like, to make fun of Pep. It's like when you over edit something. I don't need that here. And you know what? That little thing right there. And all of a sudden you end up with like, oh my God, do y'all hear that? I'm pretty sure I'm going to see a cow going by the window at some point. Oh. Yeah, no, grow, build a life. The gods are pissed. I know. I think I hear hail. I have angered the gods. But then you go. Okay. I hate to cut this short, but I'm going to go ahead and log off. So in case the power goes out or the internet goes out, that like my shit doesn't get destroyed. So, yeah. Okay. With that, thanks for staying up with me. Thanks for talking with me. You guys are awesome. And I will talk to you later.